And I'll tell you guys since we're all friends. Every character I write has a piece of me in them. Hi, I'm Lee Bardugo. You're listening to the GrishaCast.
Welcome to GrishaCast, episode 85. In this special episode, Alex and I will be playing What If? This is your host, Eric, and Alex will be subbing in for Terry. From Nashville, Tennessee, this is your podcast for all things Grishaverse, a world created by our silent yet deadly Lee Bardugo. Moi savieni casters! We are here, and it's a very special episode. I would like to present our Grisha in the field, Alex. Say hi.
Hi.
Yes. So, just to let you know, Terry is okay. She's fine. She's just had some personal issues pop up, and we just didn't want to not record anything. So Alex and I decided, why not just play some games with you all and see how that turns out, you know? So, we will be continuing to read next week, so I promise we'll be coming back to that. We will eventually cover those chapters. So, how have you been?
I've been really good. How have you been?
I've been good. I'm excited that the weather is changing here. So like the mornings are kind of cool and it's really nice. I'm really excited for the winter and fall season to arrive. I hate summer. So,
Fall is my favorite.
I know it's a beautiful season. So, it's going to be nice and I'm ready. I was talking to someone today that was telling me it's going to be the worst winter yet. And I'm like, when do they not say that though? They always say like every winter is going to be the worst one, and yet here we just don't have anything. You're lucky, you get
Yeah,
snow.
sometimes. Last year we didn't get much,
Really?
but what we did get was ice.
Yeah, we ended up getting that too. We like luckily, which was really random. We never get anything, and then like we were out for a whole week last year, which was cool.
Ooh.
Mm. I know it's exciting for Southerners. We shut down when we have snow. So I guess we might as well just get on into this. So, for those of you listeners that are not familiar with What If, it's just a game that we enjoy playing. We have one of them already up on YouTube, and it's pretty much just what if, and we change around either a small or just a part of the storyline of the Grishaverse and discuss what would happen if that what if were true. So, that is what we're going to do. And we're going to play. So I believe Alex has a what if. So take it away. What are we going to discuss?
Okay, so this is kind of harsh, kind of dark, but what if in Six of Crows, Jordy lived?
Wow.
What
Okay.
if they both survived?
So that is a lot. That would change around
Everything.
because I wonder if that would take away Kaz's like phobia of skin. Like I mean, would he have that? Like I mean, so okay.
Everything would be different. I don't even think there'd be an ice core heist.
You're right. Well, so if they survived, we're just gonna pretend like I mean, so they both survived that plague. I wonder if because do we know enough about Jordy's character to like would he take on like Kaz's role and seek vengeance? Do we know that much about him, or is that just stuff that we know more about Kaz and I'm kind of relating them as brother and brother?
I feel like since they'd both be surviving, Jordy would be very like happy and just very caretaker of Kaz, and Kaz would be very just I'm gonna take all the risks, I'm gonna do everything. So he might take on the heist, and Jordy just follow along, be like, don't do that, don't, and then like have to save his ass every time he turn around.
Yeah, I wonder because Kaz was really young when that happened, and I feel like that was one of those moments that like built Kaz to who he is, and so I almost feel like, what if he like really turned into a completely different person? Wasn't this dark I don't want to say villain that we fall in love with because he's not a villain, but what if he just wasn't like Kaz at all? I mean, what if that was a dynamic shift in the change and like he really just turned into maybe a more of a just his older brother was the caretaker and he just kind of was all happy and loved ribbons.
Yeah. And him and Inej, their relationship would be so much different. I feel like they would still get together, but he'd be a lot more supportive and a lot more helpful towards her and her traumas.
Absolutely. And they'd probably have an actual relationship and say it and he would he would just be totally different. That's a really
He
crazy.
would hold hands with his girlfriend.
Ugh, which is all we've been wanting this whole time, and we still haven't really gotten. um,
Yeah. We
got
got bandage wrapping.
yeah, that is that
That
is
was an intense scene.
it was, and that is what how far we've gotten with that. So we haven't gotten any more touching.
Yeah.
So, do you think that he would? What do you think about? Would he become a member of like the Dregs? Like, I mean, would he still be? Would he be involved in gangs at all?
Maybe he'd be more of a lower level. I'd say maybe Jesper's level, a lot lower even. Like I can't think of his name, but there's a dread called Milo in Crooked Kingdom.
Yeah.
So maybe like a Milo level.
Wow. Yeah, because they do have to survive. We have to remember that like they are homeless still. Um I mean, so I'm guessing that still he would still have that vengeance though um against oh my gosh, what's his name? The person that he stole from him. Why can I not remember?
Pekka?
Thank you. Pekka. I know.
Yes.
Horrible. That would still have
I feel like
happened.
they'd both, yeah, they'd team up to do that.
Okay. That would have been really cool then. So there might be another crow. Maybe it'd be 7 of crows. There might be a 7.
Here we go.
Huh. I like that. It would change a lot. I hope his character wouldn't change that much though, because I think part of Kaz is that we love so much about him is his like villainous and just how he's a very strong character. And
He's ruthless.
exactly. And I think a lot of that came through his experience of mourning his brother and that experience of losing the because that was all he had. So I feel like that was a very big character building situation there. So if that didn't happen, a lot would change.
Yeah.
Hmm. I like where you're going with that. I'm trying to think if there would be any other changes. I mean, we know that that would be good that they'd get together, Inej and Kaz. Um, and I think you're right. Maybe they would probably do the heist. They would just have a 7th. So, huh, that's interesting.
Or Jordy could maybe even take Wyland's place. He might learn more about demolition, chemistry, and all that.
Oh no, we wouldn't have
As
it.
much as we love Wyland, we don't know it could happen.
You're right. I mean that exactly. He could actually take place of any of them. We don't know who it could be anybody. Because we don't know much about like Jordy, like his craft, like what he was really good at, right? Like
No, not at all.
so, it'd be interesting to almost like, hmm, Lee, if you're out there, tell us more. Tell us more about
Yes, I
Jordy.
need a Jordy backstory. I need him growing up.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Ex- yeah. Do one for all of our characters, please. I would love the Bagra one of that.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. That would be incredible. Bogred's just such a cool character that's been around so long. I just think the background story of her and like her family, like, could you just imagine? I mean, we know the family, but just to hear it. Um,
She's so sassy. I love her.
oh, I know. And I can't remember the name of anybody, but the actress that plays her on the show is incredible. She does such a phenomenal job. So,
Now I'm blanking. I usually know her actor right off the top of my head, but I'm like, ah.
see, you're so good at this. We were talking last night about Cinderella, the musical, by the way, which I should have brought up in our time we were going to talk about bantering. But, anyways, we were talking about the musical Cinderella, which I absolutely fell in love with. And it's on Amazon. If you haven't checked it out, do. I think it's great. I actually have watched it a second time now. Um, I love it. But anyways, I was texting with Alex, and I didn't know the name of anybody. I was like, the person that played the godmother. And Alex was like, Billy Porter. I'm like, yep, that's right. Yep. And the person that the stepmother, Adina Menzel. Yes.
I'm the biggest Broadway nerd, so you give me a picture, I'd be like, oh, I know that person.
Adina is I was so surprised. I didn't know anything about the Cinderella movie until like someone at work told me, and they told me about Billy Porter because we had talked about that. So I didn't even know Adina Menzel was in it until I watched it, and she is like one of my like favorites. I mean, her in Wicked. Oh, like
Yeah.
my lord. So what I
And Rent being like her big debut.
see, I didn't know this about you. So what is your like all-time favorite Broadway musical? Because I'm my
Oh,
gosh.
you want to go down that rabbit hole? Okay.
Please.
So what got me into theater was Beauty and the Beast. That was my first show I ever did. It's a movie that has really deep meaning for me. But the musical that I'm absolutely in love with is Newsies.
Oh my god, I know. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yeah. I grew up watching that, and Christian Bale was like, I wanted to marry him, and when he sings Santa Fe, oh, I love that movie. That movie is iconic for me. I used to watch that on the Disney Channel when I was young, and I haven't actually seen the musical, but
Disney Plus.
I'm sure it's fantastic. Um, but the movie's fantastic too, and it like didn't get as much hype as it should have. Like when it like came out, I remember seeing it like in the movies. I know, like I saw it
Fun
in the
fact
theaters.
about the movie, it was originally supposed to be a historical drama, but while they were writing it, after they cast Christian Bale, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make this a musical. And he's like, I guess.
Who knew that he had such an amazing voice? Like
Yeah.
I, because he doesn't sing anything else. Is he? Okay, so I bet there's a lot of people that like loved him in Batman and have no clue that their Batman like actually has some pipes, like some
Yeah.
really good ones. It's such an amazing movie. So, okay, so Newsies, I agree with you on that. I used to sing that all the time. Ugh. And then so I love Rent is a musical that I used to I was a big part of musicals and theater growing up, so I loved all that, but the one that changed me and actually, like, had, like I think Your Beauty and the Beast would be Rent for me because that was the first musical that, like, I remember getting the, like, CD albums for, like, Hanukkah one year. I think I was, like, a freshman in high school, and I remember it was 2 CDs, and I went upstairs and, like, I just I memorized it, like, absolutely memorized it, and when it came around finally to Nashville, and at that time, like, this is gonna sound crazy, but, like, there were people that were like, not rioting, I'm sorry, that's the wrong word, but protesting Rent,
There you go.
because of the content of it having some gay characters, drag queens, I mean, just it was the first of its kind, and I remember, like, I went and saw it. It was here a week, and I went and saw it 4 times, and I knew every single word, and I pretended that, like, that was Rocky Horror. Like, I was screaming, like, during the
Yeah.
musical, like, and singing along with them and standing up. Yeah, which
I love it.
So we're gonna have to remember to bring up this to Terry because Terry is a huge musical freak and nerd just like me and apparently you. And I know what her favorite one is, but I'm gonna let her tell you that. And I've never seen it.
Fabulous.
I've never seen it. And anyways, have you ever seen Cabaret?
No, I have not, but my theater's supposed to be doing it.
That is an incredible show. That was probably one of my favorite parts I ever played. I played the MC, and that is I saw that actually on Broadway. When it was at Studio, yeah, it was Studio 54, I think, is where it actually was. Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, it was kind of cool. Anyways, well, we went down
Awesome.
that rabbit hole. So,
Yes. Back to what if.
yes. So, should we try mine?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm gonna play along, and this is very dark as well. So, and this might, if you're listening to this and driving, you might want to pull over. I know this is gonna hit some people in the heart, but remember, this is just a what if. What if Vasily survived and Nikolai died in Siege and Storm? Ba-boom.
Vaseline, our greasy prince. Let's go.
Okay, so that would be traumatic because Nikolai is a main character all the way through the Grishaverse and a lot of people's favorite. So, okay, so if you that's the very end of Siege and Storm. So, Alina's already met him, and
He's already proposed multiple times, as
right,
well as Nikolai.
yeah. So, well, I think Vasily would end up like I think the Darkling would go ahead and kill him. I don't think he'd survive long at all.
No, not at all. Or he'd just run off to Ketterdam or something.
Yeah. So pretty much we would just be in the situation of not having a royal family really because
And you wouldn't have that ability to use the little Angren palace as safety.
the Darkling would completely I think that would shift everything. Because I think Nikolai's role is so dynamic throughout our story line. Like, I mean, all the way through up until where we even are like Rule of Wolves. Like, I mean, he plays such a huge part, even in like some of the smaller scenes. He carries the story. If you really think about, he helped shape Alina. He helps her like become who she is. Um, helps her like. So I feel like we almost would be in territory of like the Darkling would almost he'd take over. I don't think the
I
Fold would
feel
be.
like, yeah, the Darkling would absolutely take over. We wouldn't have that love triangle between Mal, Alina, Nikolai, and the Darkling.
Yeah. Or that rectangle.
Yeah, whatever it is, I don't know. It's a shape of people.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like that would. I think the Fold would still. It would pretty much swing in the favor of the Darkling. This would be where, I mean, yeah, that'd be horrifying. Because, I mean, do you think that Alina would be able, without Nikolai, to conquer and carry on the storyline and actually take over and end up killing the Darkling at the end of Ruin and Rising? Or do you like
I
see
think it
that
would take a lot longer
it is
because
possible?
she wouldn't have the words are hard.
Words
So
are hard. It's okay. I
I
understand.
can't even think what I'm gonna say, but she won't have the resources that she would need.
Yeah, because we have to remember Nikolai, like all the inventions he comes up with is a huge part
Exactly.
of helping them advance um everything. So, and it would just be so sad because Nikolai says some of the most amazing lines ever in the Grishaverse, I
I
think.
have a list of just lines from him that I love.
Yeah, exactly. And that is why people are freaking out over this casting. It's because
Yes.
he is he is a favorite character. I don't know if he's my Zoya's obviously my favorite character, but he definitely comes in second.
Oh, absolutely. He is amazing.
He's he's a really well thought out character. Have you ever heard Lee tell like I don't know when I heard this, but she actually didn't plan on Nikolai playing a really big role when she wrote him and that he actually was supposed to die like she was going to kill him in either Siege and Storm or Ruin and Rising, but fell in love with the character.
Wow.
Yeah, not kidding. I swear. I promise. Like I remember her hearing her say that she didn't expect him. She just didn't plan for his character to make such an impact on her. And I think that's really interesting from a writing perspective, going in and like thinking this one thing about a character and then that character literally changing your mind that you keep them and how big of an impact he's had on the whole Grishaverse. It's crazy. So,
I think a lot of writers have done that. Like She Who Must Not Be Named,
yeah.
that did Harry Potter, fell in love with Luna and the actress who played her, so she got a much bigger part throughout the rest of the books.
Really? Well, see, I remember
Mhm.
because that part was supposed to be like, wasn't it like a giveaway almost or something weird? Like
Mhm.
the actress,
It
like,
was like a throwaway bit, and then she fell in love with the actress and the character, and she's like, "All right, more Luna. There we go."
interesting. Wow. Yeah, I can see that happening. I could never write a novel, but I think it's
I'm
neat.
working on one, but it's
Are you really?
yeah.
Ooh. You wanna what's it about? Can you give any hints?
I can. So it's based off of a Tumblr post that I saw years ago. It's basically a soulmate AU where there's a black mark somewhere on somebody's skin where the soulmate will touch them for the first time, and it's about these two coming together and meeting each other and finding out later on that they are soulmates.
That is awesome. And
Yes.
you and Aiden Thomas both get inspired by Tumblr.
Yes, we do.
So go in that direction because apparently I think that's what he's how he got inspired for one of the books he wrote. I believe he said on our like podcast. So that's a good route to take. Well, I think that's been fun. I would love, well, we would love to hear from our listeners. What do you guys think? And if you guys like where we went with it, if you think something different, or if you even have an idea for a what if you would like to share for us to discuss, or whatever, we can just have fun with this. So that's what this whole episode was about. So I know it's a little shorter than normal, but hey, we're here. So what do we have for news, by the way? I know.
News. I have two small things. There was a second Sturmhond audition trailer that was leaked,
Oh,
but it was shortly taken down afterwards because the owner was asking for it to be taken down.
did you get to see any of it, or
I did. I got to see the full video. It was very good, but there was so much hate going around towards the actor. I was like, I can't share this. I'm not going to go against his wishes. It's not fair to
yeah?
him. So I took it off of the Crow Club, and other places have asked for it to be taken down. So that is no longer available to be seen.
There's a lot of hate going around that I'm really not happy with the Grishaverse fandom right now. I love all of you, but those that are getting a little hateful about some of this stuff, I mean, I don't think we need to hate on actors. If we don't like their acting or whatever, that's fine, but we don't need to like bring someone down because of I don't know. I'm sorry. That bugs me a little bit. I don't like that people
That
have
happened when we got casting announcements for season one, too. Everyone was hating on Archie,
yeah,
saying that he doesn't look right, or they hate Mal, so they hate him. You can't hate on the actor because you don't like the character.
exactly. I'm sorry, but I agree that everyone has a soapbox and can stand on it, but there are some things that really let's think a minute before we like express that. I understand getting upset, but there are thoughts that don't need to come out of my mouth.
Yes,
Sometimes.
exactly.
Yeah. So, um I hold those back and I can think them all I want, but I don't cuz those things can affect people. That's what bothers me is I don't want like this poor actor. I feel so I don't even know who it is, but I mean to probably what he to have the like actual chance of auditioning for this incredible show and then for it to get leaked and then to hear that the fans hate it or whatever like that's that has to have gotten back to him. There's no way that
Oh,
it didn't.
absolutely.
So let's think a little bit more, peeps, on like bringing people down. You know, I think they said it right in Bambi. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Sorry.
You're good.
So what else? Do we have anything else?
There was an article released by moviessr.net. It was basically just estimating season two coming out in 2023 because of the actors' schedules, CGI editing, how much it takes to film.
Right.
So we probably won't get it until 2023,
Yeah.
but Netflix usually waits a year, 2 years before the next season will come out anyway.
Yeah. I feel like you're right, especially since like I mean there is a lot of like there's just a lot within that show. We saw all the CGI work and that was just in the first season and yeah, I can imagine because I mean I'm sure they're still do you think the script's done? Do you think they've finished?
Yes, because they've started casting. The script is done,
Okay.
and filming should start around November,
Oh my God. That's
early December maybe. But
that's gonna be incredible. I just am excited to find out how this storyline is gonna go because this is where I get a little worried, to be honest. I wasn't worried about season 1. I'm worried about this season because I don't know how our 2 storylines are going to mesh. Like,
yeah,
how can you possibly do Siege and Storm at the same time if you're gonna do but we don't know this. It's just everybody wants the Six of Crows story, and it seems like everybody's expecting it since we got the prequel to it. What do you think?
I have a theory for how I think season 2 will be. So you know how everyone's on the same boat going back to, I believe it's Ketterdam.
Yeah.
I think that they got onto Sturmhond's ship.
Okay. Huh.
So I think they might skip the entire Novi Zem bit in the beginning of Sage and Storm and just go straight into like, all right, here we go.
Okay. So just kind of maybe rush in and do like Ruin and Rising really quickly, maybe, and then kind of would the Six of Crows story come in at all? Do you think?
I don't know about that. I'm not sure how they're going to mesh the Six of Crows storyline yet.
Exactly. That's where like I want to see the Ice Court, and I think a lot of people would love to see that. I just don't know how they would. Well, that's why we're not writing the story, and we're
Yeah.
gonna view it and see. So, well, that's exciting. And what's gonna be neat is we're gonna get like little bits of news here and there, but they're gonna be like big pieces. So,
Oh, you're going to just get screaming texts from me once we get the casting announcement.
please do, please.
I will blow your phone up.
I look forward to those moments. Those are great because I'm so excited just to see where it goes, and I'm just so proud that it got a second season. I was nervous there for a minute just because it was, there was just a lot that kind of went on with it and news leaking out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I hope we get a season 2. And we do. I don't know how Lee is doing everything that she's doing. I'm glad, like, no wonder she's in seclusion right now and being
Yeah.
silent because she finished that. Like, I mean, because that she definitely helped write that story. Like, so we know she's writing Ninth House 2.
And for the TV show of
Yeah.
Ninth House.
Exactly. So those are 3 huge projects. I wish I could take breaks like she does. I really want one. So, well, Alex, thank you so much. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. Chris is gonna kill me. Thank you so much for joining and doing this. This was fun.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
That's awesome. So I think we've got something. So we're gonna keep doing this. We enjoy playing What If. And please, if you want to hear some more episodes of What If, we've been putting them on YouTube. So they're not part of our podcast. They are actually more of on our YouTube channel. So go like and subscribe and check out some of those videos. We've got different videos coming out each week for a little bit. So not everything's out yet, but we'll continue making them. And yeah, so next week, keep our fingers crossed. Terry will be here with us, of course, and we will be covering chapters 14 and 15. So, you guys, it's been great. Thank you so much, Alex, for taking a step inside instead of staying out in that field.
Yeah, I got to go back to my field now. Let me go get my net.
Go sit in your field. Oh, goodness. Well, it's been great, and we love you guys. Long live the Grishaverse.
Like, we're at the end of the hour, so my voice is a little husky. A plus.
No mourners.
No funerals.
This has been GrishaCast. Connect with us on the web at GrishaCast.com. Send an email to info@GrishaCast.com. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all at GrishaCast. Thank you for our staff, Chris, Alex, Sid, Michelle, and Amber.